Imagine if a cat got up every single day in terms of the press of gratitude, right? Man, I'm grateful for my family today. Man, I'm grateful I get to walk down the hall and see my daughter, my son. Man, I'm grateful I got to wake up to a healthy wife. I'm grateful I got to wake up in my right mind. Man, I'm grateful I get to send out a text to my people. Man, I'm grateful I get to do the work that I feel I've been called and commissioned to do. Like waking up and being in the spirit of gratitude, right? And just being grateful before we even start our day, just waking up with it on our mind. Man, I'm grateful that I get the opportunity to do this week, right? It's almost that pressing, that perspective of I don't have to do it, I get to do it, right? And so my challenge for us all is, as we start our days, as we do our work, as we carry on with our lives, let's do the press of gratitude more.
Peace, love, and light to you, family. I wanted to get real close and personal. Why? Because you're about to follow me to the kitchen while we prepare this peach cobbler from scratch. You heard what I said. We are preparing the peach cobbler from scratch. Bàbá Olúwátóbi is bringing it to you from the Idile of the Olúwátóbi clan. Follow me, y'all. Come on, let's do it. First, man, I'm so thankful and grateful that y'all are here with me this morning. I want to bring you the ingredients first. Anybody know I'm a sage burner? I gotta make sure my environment is right. They say this is soul food for a reason. I'm trying to make sure I put my foot, my kneecap, leg, arm into it. So I'll get the sage going first just to make sure everything is pleasant. Okay, so without hesitation, here are the ingredients. So your boy uses the peach chunks. I do that just personal preference. You can get the slices, but this is what I like to use. Also, what we have is the sugar. You know, you will need the sugar. We also got that brown sugar, baby. We got that brown sugar, baby. You're gonna need that. Also, we got the ground cinnamon, and we have the nutmeg, which I use this. A lot of people don't, but I do. And then we have the crust. We got the pie crust, as well as the butter. All right, that good butter. All right, family, I showed y'all the ingredients. Now it's time to get to it. It's time to put our peaches in the pot and get it started. All right, first we're gonna start with the sugar. As you see, I did put the sugar in the bowl, and I got a tablespoon. They say you're supposed to put 1 cup of this, 1 cup of that, but honestly, I eyeball it, I don't measure. That's why I'm showing you now, because I like to get a nice glaze of the sugar over my peaches, all right? Let me show you how I just take my tablespoon and sprinkle it over my peaches, because I don't like it clumped up. Then once I add my sugar, get a nice glaze over it, like I said. I like to stir it up. So next on my list, I go ahead and add the brown sugar. And again, we do the same exact thing because I don't like it clumped up. That's why I will put a couple scoops in first, then I'll stir it up, and I'll come back and I'll add a little more. Because it's brown sugar, sometimes it'll be a little hard, it might stick together. And like I said before, I don't like it clumped up, so I add 3 or 4 scoops. I mix it up, I get it stirred up. I come back, add a couple more scoops, just to make sure the mixture is right. Okay, this is the point where I like to add the ground cinnamon. And as you see, I just sprinkle it in on top, nice and even all the way around. Then I'll stir it and come back and add a little bit more. So real quick, family, the nutmeg, this is that secret sauce that I talked to you about once before. It has a real kind of gingerbready taste, at least to my taste buds, but this sets it off, you know, and I just sprinkle it on top. We'll mix it in, sprinkle it on the peaches, and then we'll get a nice stir on it as well too. Perfect. Now we have all of our ingredients in the pot. I got it stirred up, mixed in there beautifully so it has a nice blend. Now what I do is I'll put the stove on low and let these peaches cook for a moment. just so all of the juices can really set in thoroughly all the way through the peaches. It's gonna be good, y'all, trust me. Okay, family, now I'm gonna bring you over here where we are gonna get into the crust now. While we're letting those peaches simmer on low, we're gonna go ahead and prepare our crust. And I'm gonna show you something very, very unique, all right? First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and butter our pan, all right? We're gonna go ahead and get this pan buttered. And what I like to make sure I do is come all the way up to each corner when you butter it. Some people like to spray Pam. I don't get into spraying Pam. I'm gonna show you why here in a minute, okay? But we wanna make sure we get all these corners good. It may take you a little bit more time, but like I told you, we're trying to put our foot, kneecap, elbow, arm all the way in it, all right? Let's get this pan buttered. All right, so now I'm only showing you this again because we family, right? This is where that nutmeg is gonna come in to play. Again, I'm gonna sprinkle it, just sprinkle it. The reason why I don't use Pam, because I told you before, I want this to stick to the butter. So when we get ready to put our crust on there, it's gonna stick to the crust and you'll be able to taste it in every bite. Every bite. I add the nutmeg, I add a little cinnamon as well too, and I'm gonna show you that here next. Want to bring you back, family, just to show you. So listen. That nutmeg with the cinnamon is what I add into the pan before we get ready to put the crust in. All right, family, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the crust. We're gonna prepare the crust in the pan. Now, mind you, it may be circular, so what you'll have to do, if you have a rectangular or square pan, you'll have to work the crust the same way I do, which is very simple, it's easy, all right? We just work the crust into the pan. It's not hard. Trust me, it's not hard. It's not hard. And it's gonna come out looking beautiful as well too. Trust me. Pouring it to the top. We're just gonna work it all in here, all right? All right, so look, family, as you see, I like to layer up the crust and I break off the ends so that way they fit the pan all the way on the corners as well. And I told you presentation, right? Don't worry, because when you get ready to bake it, it's gonna mix, it's gonna blend all together, and it's gonna be beautiful, all right? So trust me on this one. Trust me on this one. Just make sure you get everything cornered out well with your crust all the way to the corners. And I'm telling you, this is gonna make for a delicious peach cobbler. All right, family, as I stated to you, we have our peaches done. You don't wanna let your peaches cook for no longer than 15 to 20 minutes. You see, I put the crust in the oven because I like for the crust to get nice and loose, because the dough, I like to impress it up against the edges because it just makes for a beautiful crust. Now, what I am gonna do, we're gonna put our peaches in the pan, but what I like to do is I like to scoop my peaches into the pan. All right, let me show you what's going on. All right, now we have our peaches scooped into the pan with the crust. Come on, y'all. This is just the beginning. So now what we're about to do is we're about to put that layer on top. And let me show you how I prepare the layer. We're about to get into the crust. And remember, it's not gonna be perfect. So what I like to do is I cut it. Cut it, cut it, cut it. We're gonna cut it. Put it on top. Cut it and just layer it out. All right, as I explained to y'all, now you see we cut up the crust. Now I'm about to put the finishing touches on this. This is where the true magic happens at right here, y'all. Let me show you. And I'm gonna put me some butter in the bowl, right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and melt this butter. Put it in the microwave for about 45 seconds, all right? Watch this. Okay, now that you see we have our butter melted, what I'm gonna add is a little cinnamon in the butter, also some brown sugar in the butter, as well as sugar in there, all right? Let's see what this combination turns out. We're back over here with our peach cobbler. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna lightly brush the butter on top of our crust before we put it in the oven. Now that we have the butter brushed onto the crust, now we're about to slide it in the oven for about an hour, hour and a half. All right, y'all, here we go. This is the final product. As I said once before, presentation is everything. And I walked you through the steps of how to prepare. I'm talking about a delicious peach cobbler. Man, I can't wait to bite it. We're gonna get into it.